playing on wait. Wait basically means that while you're going through menus, the enemies are not attacking you. So it is typically the preferred way to play. Active is just an additional extra level of challenge that nobody really wants. Oh, for sure. And it looks like we have a frog robo start. I think you're right. Both of the characters in the starting party with AoE heals. I believe we're also playing with tech randomization on tonight. Is that correct? All right, so we're getting in chat, sounds like we're not getting any game sound,
Yep.
and they're not able to hear one of us.
Okay, I think they were not
Not
able to
sure
hear
which one.
me. So, apologize. Hopefully everything looks and sounds good now. We already have some diverging paths between the different runners. We
We
have,
do. I'm actually really surprised to see the early desert play. I guess just going for treasure.
yeah, I think that's
I can't.
something that Moon's been playing around with lately. Is a really early desert.
Interesting. You can potentially get some good stuff in there. I can't imagine he's fighting the boss.
Raise. Okay.
Oh yeah, he's getting out of there.
Yeah, I was gonna say that boss sounds like it would be very difficult.
Oh, for sure, for sure. At this level, I'm not even sure it's possible. So the other runners are doing a fairly standard route at this point. They're going through, they're doing some shopping, they're picking up some of the free checks that you can get on the overworld. In this case, we've got Choco doing the lazy carpenter. In vanilla, you would go get the tools from him, which would open up access to the ruins. But in this case, it's going to be one of the key items. Down on the bottom left, Procky is checking the snail stop. And, oh, bent sword. That is half of the Masamune.
Yeah, that
So
is
we
that
can.
could potentially be very important.
That could. So that is one of the items that opens access to Magus Castle, which is one of the paths to 12,000 BC, which gets you access to the Ocean Palace. So they have Frog. They know where one part of the blade is. That could come into play here.
Absolutely. I really find that desert play interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see if it ends up helping him in the XP department.
Or even if it just gives him a slight edge. And I think he got a sword down there. It looked like a frog sword down there, so he has some early attack power. Got some armor.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting because that could make some of these early fights quite a bit faster.
For sure. For sure. And that, honestly, if you don't get the good techs, if you don't have an AoE tech going into Cathedral, some of those fights can drag on a fair bit.
Oh, absolutely. No AoE at the start of Cathedral means you're going to be sitting in that church for a little while. It's a long sermon.
Yeah, slowly whittling down the Nagaet nuns. Oh, Taco in chat is calling Magus Castle Seed Frog Early and Masamune. You heard it here. Interesting to see if that plays out. You notice Procky is doing the shop fight right now. This fight it's a common one that runners will do early. Gets you a guaranteed first tech for most of your characters, and also gets you 4 or 5 levels. It's a pretty solid check, and with a decent team, you can do it pretty early. If you have a very low damage team, you have to watch out. the Omnicron misses his first 2 attacks and then knocks one of your characters over. So, like I said, if you have a strong enough team, and Robo's typically pretty powerful at this point, so you should be able to handle it.
Well, and what's the worst case scenario in that fight?
You die.
Well, I don't
start over.
I don't think he could. Sorry, I'm trying to think of the words I'm trying to say. I don't think he can get
Words
to your second
hard.
member because the body of the first one will get in his way usually, won't it? So I think he can only take out one of your guys.
That is something I've never experimented with.
Because I don't think he can walk past. Alright, I'm going to change audio sources here to see if we can get this sounding a little bit better.
I was getting some static there for a sec, but... And Frog Squash.
Alright, how does that sound?
That's a great tech.
Yeah, it is. It's a little less useful this early, though.
It is. It's, of course, based on your missing HP. So, if Frog has very low max HP values, he can't have a lot of missing HP, and Frog Squash isn't terribly strong. But still, it's something with a little bit of full screen damage potential, even if not terribly much.
And it's also physical, isn't it?
Yes. I believe it is.
Alright, we
Choco
see...
doing the first fight in Hecarim.
And Procky heading into the cathedral.
Yeah, Procky is our first runner into the cathedral, so we will be seeing shortly who our third character is.
Absolutely. Any guesses?
Oh, I am not Taco Hero. I am not the prophet.
Not a prophet? Well, maybe this will be a prophet.
I am not the prophet. This could be a prophet.
Oh, it's Chrono.
It is Chrono. Interesting. Very, very high physical damage party right now. Not so much in the way of magic.
Yeah, he's gonna get some useful magic, and his techs will be pretty useful overall. But you're right, he's not very good at the magic side. They're almost a lot of the other characters are going to be better than him at it.
Yeah, Chrono has a naturally low magic stat, so in terms of just your level 2 spells with the full screen damage potential, he's not usually my first pick. And Luminaire is just prohibitively expensive in the early game, if you happen to get it early.
Yeah, it's a very expensive tech. What is it, 20 magic points?
20 indeed. Got a bromide check going on.
So I apologize, I was getting everything set up. What was Snail Stop item?
Snail Stop was one of the pieces of the Masamune.
Oh, okay.
So, I'm curious to see where the other one shows up. Looks like, oh, did Choco actually buy it from Snail Stop? It is tracked, so I'm assuming he did.
He did.
Frequently, if it's the blade, I will just skip it early, knowing that I can go back for it, and I'll use the gold to buy either a weapon or more consumable items, but honestly, this saves him the trip back if he does end up needing it, so...
It does.
Could be a time saver in the long run.
Definitely an interesting choice, though, because, like you said, if I get part of the Masamune, or I get, like, part of Go mode, but I still need the other part, I'll leave it there all day. I'll leave it there to see if I need it. But you're right that Choco could absolutely end up needing it, and now he gets to save a trip where everyone else went.
Yeah, for sure. And it's 9,900 gold. That is approximately half of your starting gold. So in the randomizer, you know, it's a little bit nice. It doesn't make you start out with the, 400 gold you start with in vanilla. So you actually do have some purchasing power in the early game. can buy some equipment. And of course, Melchior in the Millennial Fair sells an assortment of weapons, not great weapons, but mid-tier weapons for basically every character, except for Ayla and Magus, of course. So a lot of times early on, I like to, if I can save that money, I like to go deck out one of my characters with some gear.
Absolutely, especially if you know you're going to have a hard time at Market Fight or a hard time in Cathedral. Sometimes it's just worth that extra investment. I mean, it's usually like 3,000 or 4,000 gold, but it can also make a pretty big difference in how long some of these bosses take you.
It can. So, given the current team, do you predict anyone is going to nope out of Cathedral early, or do you think they're all going to full clear?
That's a really good question. So, I think they're probably going to clear it for the XP, but also to try to get maybe a magic damage character for their team. This team is not going to output damage very quickly.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I'm thinking they're probably all going to full clear Cathedral just to see what the next character is. So killing Yakra at the end of Cathedral opens up the event in Guardia Castle, where in vanilla you would go to get Marl after rescuing the queen, and it can be a random character there. So I am definitely anticipating that everyone will not just loot the Cathedral, but also finish it to see who's at Guardia Castle.
Yeah, I agree. And they're all actually fairly close to each other here.
They are. They took some pretty divergent routes early, but they are pretty neck and neck. Which, honestly, I mean, it's just fun to see that.
It is.
Even taking different routes, these runners are all very good, and you're going to see, hopefully, a very close race tonight.
I like to do a lot of off-the-wall things before Cathedral, but usually I feel pretty good if I get out of there by like 18 minutes. It looks like these guys are all going to finish in under that, so...
Yeah, they're moving pretty quick. And looks like we're about to get our first look at Yakra. So don't worry, folks, Yakra won't last too long here, but we will get to see another Yakra, or we may get to see another Yakra later in the seed. If the seed is really mean and makes them go through the King's Trial sequence, of course we'll get to see Yakra the 13th, I believe?
Mm-hmm.
Yakra with the Roman numerals after his name.
Although after a couple of these Uzi punches, he may not come back.
That's fair. Man, Uzi Punch early is such a great tech. It's expensive.
It is.
But it hits so hard.
And it works on...
Chrono's got confused.
It works on most of the bosses. Physical do.
It does. So, I mean, like we were talking about, very, very heavy physical team. And
oh, wow.
On top of that, they've also got just a lot of very strong physical techs. Confuse, Uzi Punch, very late game techs normally. So Tech Randomizer's actually being pretty kind today.
Yeah, it is. So we've got first clear being from Chakasura. Oh, and there's Moon finishing him up too.
Now the real question, will he free the Chancellor?
I don't think he will.
Sorry, Chancellor. He's left on his own now. That's always... So in vanilla, I never knew you could do that. So I would always open both chests, I would rescue the Chancellor. I was watching someone run the randomizer back when I first got started, and I saw them do that, and it was kind of life-changing, you know? You can just leave the Chancellor in his box, he can just chill there. We don't need to rescue him.
Did you see that frog squash on Procky's screen? 23 health frog squash.
And look who we have here.
Oh.
We have a Magus.
So I think we'll see Magus go in immediately on at least 2 of these teams.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that Choco didn't keep him. So Magus is a very strong early game character. He takes a little longer to get started with his techs, just more tech points required to get him his first skills. But he has a very high chance of getting early full screen AoE attacks, which really come in handy in the early parts of these seeds. So I'm kind of surprised to see him currently on the bench.
I'm a little surprised to see him go in Chrono's place on Moon's screen. So Moon decided to keep Frog and take Magus instead. And that was a Chrono with Confuse.
Yeah, I mean, he may bring Chrono back in if he finds a really good weapon for him later. Confuse is good. Oh, that's the other half of the sword on Chocosora's screen. So, all right, you Taco, you absolute prophet, you might actually be right. So we've got Frog, we've got both halves of the Masamune, and that is access to Magus's castle. That's a mean Magus's castle too.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be really
No
interesting because they're going to have a lot of choices after this bridge.
Apparently it's Agus's castle. Sorry, I will remember that in the future as they assault Agus's castle.
So I was looking to see if if anybody kept the same team. And it looks like did Chaco and Procky keep the same team after getting their 4th member? I know he's in a menu right now.
Yeah, I wasn't looking closely enough to see what Procky did. But yeah, so I would tend to agree. They're not going to be heading to Magus's castle right now unless one of them just decides to go a little bit crazy. But given the key items they've got, this could, man, such a mean seed. Future, did you roll this seed?
I think you must have rolled this seed. I've had some of yours.
And future fessing up in chat there, he apparently did roll this seed, so.
It's going to be really interesting, though, because I think there's a lot of different paths that could be taken, depending on what techs and characters they go with.
There are. So you see on Moon Blizzard's side, this is yet another one of those things I never knew about in vanilla. If you just attack Ozzy 3 times, the fight ends, his spell is broken, all the skeletons go away, you don't have to waste, tech points or many turns taking down the skeletons, and a blue vest. Blue vest
and
is actually a pretty nice find.
I think you get the same XP and tech points either way, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's definitely something I didn't learn until I started running jets.
Yeah, so many little tricks like that I just never knew about. That actually, these 3 runners have taught me a lot of those tricks. So you'll hopefully be seeing some of those fun routing decisions and fun skips and fun things tonight that I have learned from them as well.
But first, Zombor. With an important message from our sponsor.
So would you like to talk a little about the Zombor strategy?
Yeah, so you may have to step in and correct me along the way, but from what I know on Zombor, his top and bottom halves are different targets, and they have different weaknesses and resistances. I believe you can hit the legs with lightning. You can hit the head with water or fire, I believe, and then shadow on the legs. physical works on both. But it's always been interesting to me that they accounted for all the types in his
So I've
strategy.
never really used lightning on him too much. I know the legs are weak to fire, and the top you can hurt with ice. And the other way around, they absorb it. If you attack the legs first and get them too low, then the top half of Zombor will start unleashing his, I think it's the Doom 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 move that hits your whole party for pretty high damage. So you always want to take out that top half first. And then the legs, they fall over.
Yeah, and there's a bit of a downside to going top first, but it's much smaller, and that's that he does steal all the magic points from whoever finishes him.
This is true. Fun fact, if you kill the Zombor's top half with a counter attack, he does not counter your counter, and you won't get MP bustered.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, found out by accident. So if you happen to get lucky enough to get a Frenzy Band or a Rage Band and counterattack for the kill, no MP buster.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's, as Future's saying, that's useful in a number of places. There's a number of fights where bosses will have death counters or counters of some sort that you can bypass by being the first one to counterattack.
Interesting.
And here's...
I'm gonna have to look into some of that. Oh, we see the
Chokosora
sword.
getting that sword reforged. You see Melchior, of course, just has a spare Dreamstone in his basement. We don't know why he has a spare Dreamstone in his basement. You think he could give it to you? You know, it's part of Go mode. It's pretty important, but no.
And there, it looks like Moon checking who's in the burrow to decide if he needs to do that sword right now. And it was Marley in the burrow.
Ah. So that could come into play if they have to do the King's Trial. She is required to access that.
She is, and that whole quest line leads to 2 different... Sorry, I'm noticing in chat, I think I've started a war between Marley and Marl. On the pronunciation
you
there.
can keep calling her Marley, I'll call her Marl, and then we can just annoy everybody. That sound
exactly, good? Yeah. It's funny, I actually called her Marl my whole life playing this game until I got into this community and I heard a couple other people say Marley, and I was like, that's probably right.
Yeah, I always said Marl as a kid, and I'm stubborn, so I just didn't change.
Fair enough.
It worked out well for me. Looks like we have Moon Blizzard going for the Denadoro Mountain check.
And Choco picking up Marley. Ooh, and she has haste.
Oh, haste and life too. Interesting. So haste, of course, being incredibly powerful on the long boss fights in this game. Not as useful usually for the smaller enemy fights, but against the bigger bosses, it can really turn the tide. Just getting those extra attacks in.
I was so happy when I learned Denadoro and learned all the skips and everything. It made me appreciate that dungeon so much more.
Oh yeah, and you can skip so much of it. The biggest time save of all, of course, being that big gauntlet skip at the top.
Oh yeah. My first several runs, I did not know about that, and I ran into that every single time.
So we were going to have a 4th runner tonight. He wasn't actually able to make it. He was the one who taught me that skip, so that was kind of life-changing, to be honest. You know, there's a few encounter skips in these old RPGs that just make such a difference. That's one of them, because that's just a long, drawn-out 4 or 5 battles in a row. And of course, there's you can skip all the battles at Kefka at Narsh in FF6. Like, seeing that just kind of blew my mind. And I always love seeing runners do these skips. Executed nicely on Moon's screen right there.
Oh, Moon setting up that ramp skip there, and he does decide to jump down the waterfall for a couple high-tier chests.
He does. I missed what was in the first one.
I also
Flash mail
missed...
in the second.
Flash mail's not terrible, but I'm sure he was looking for something a little more worth his time. Wallet was the other item.
Wallet.
So.
Well, that's, you know, you can sell it.
Normally, yeah, you can sell your wallet.
Sell your wallet to make money, but sure, why not?
Sometimes you do
Seems
what you have to.
Counterintuitive. Absolutely.
And here's sightseeing.
Mountains are nice.
Yeah, mountains are new. Mountains are nice. What are those? Do you remember what those guys are called?
They are Kilwallas.
That's it.
Yeah, so if you continue to annoy the Kilwalla, he eventually just gives you a magic tab and tells you to get lost. And in chat, wallets are very good for money grinds if you really do need them. I think I told this story last time I calmed, but my very first seed I ever played of this game, the imps in Guardia Forest were dropping wallets. That was back before the big economy balancing that went on about that time. So I just ground that fight half a dozen times and had all the gold I ever needed, because they sold for, I think, 10,000 back then.
Oh, that would be a different game.
Oh yeah, it was a wild time. Things are a lot more balanced now.
So now if we take a look, we see Chaco and Moon both went Dinodoro Mountains, but we've got Procky down in Hecarim Cave. Must have had a good AoE and decided to just run through that for a quick key item.
Yeah, this is especially one of those places where if you have a spell that can clear the full screen, it goes from being an absolute slow grind to actually a pretty fast dungeon.
Oh yeah, I missaw the cave he was in. That's desert he's actually at. So they all went different paths.
Mountains are nice, sand is not. So, we saw Moonblizzard come here earlier, of course, just to loot the place and run, but looks like Choco's actually taken the fight. He has Robo, so you don't get a key item for this particular fight. Instead, what you do is unlock the Fiona's Shrine in 1000 AD. You leave Robo, of course, with Fiona in 600. He spends 400 years basically repurposed as a tractor, planting trees, and then you go pick him back up in the year 1000 and get a key item there.
You also have a pretty nice shop available once you finish that quest as well.
This is true. Fiona's Shrine in vanilla, it's the nun that sells the hats or the helmets. In this, she is guaranteed to sell lapis and several other items that are randomly chosen. So lapis, of course, giving back 200 health to your entire party on use. They're one of those items that can come in very handy if you don't have a dedicated healer.
Oh, we've got the rare triple boss fight.
Oh, we do.
3 bosses at one time.
So you've got Choco taking on Retinite, Procky taking on Hecarim, and Moon taking on the Masa and Mune fight.
Now what's, I think, going to be interesting is each one of these leads to a different key item.
Yeah, the routes could really diverge here.
It really depends what people find. And if they're going to make other
like
checks.
Yeah, and it looks like the Retinite core escaped. That is a shame. Retinite core is worth a fair chunk of experience.
Oh, I was under the impression he always escaped.
No, you can actually kill him. I want to say it's 2,000 experience.
Okay.
Yeah, now Choco is taking on the treasure chest bosses. The number of times I've just circled those treasure chests
Oh,
trying to get them is
it's so
kind of
embarrassing.
embarrassing.
It really is, because there's nothing you can do about it but just keep trying.
Yeah, that sand can be a pain. Alright, so let's see, we're gonna have multiple key items coming up on screen here. We've got, oh, the hero medal at Tabin.
Okay.
And over on Moon Blizzard's screen, we are seeing... What are we seeing?
Ooh, something interesting. Throw something in there. Gate key, maybe?
And of course,
Ruby
I'm a little bit
knife.
delayed, so...
For Moon.
There we go, Ruby Knife.
That's pretty big.
That certainly can be. What are we going to get on Choco's side? Ignore the paradox, folks. Ignore the paradox. There is nothing wrong.
Moon?
And the Chrono trigger.
Moon could have go mode right now if he wanted it. And it looks like he's going directly for it. He's checking his gold.
Moon, does he...
I think
okay,
it's...
yeah, he does have that ruby knife.
Yeah, he's got ruby knife, and I think he has access to both pieces of the Masamune.
Ooh, he does. So
oh, and we've got the rainbow on Procky. And he just pulled the hero badge. He got a rainbow as well. Or a prism shard, I mean, not a rainbow. Okay. I always call that key item the wrong thing.
All up there. So, I don't remember if he's checked Frog's Burrow or not, so I don't know if he knows where Marl is, but that would open up the King's Trial. And so many different key items in this seed, like so many different paths that they can take right now. But that,
well, and I
love... crazy if Moon goes to Magus Castle early.
I love, like, my favorite thing about this is different knowledge levels. They each know different things. So we can sit from the outside and put them all together. They only know what they personally have checked.
True. Moon, I think Moon checked Snail Stop, didn't he?
I thought he did.
I wasn't sure. I thought he had. So now we're just kind of seeing the runners all clear the things that the others have done. You see Choco is headed to Hecarim's cave.
There he goes.
Honestly, at this point, they're probably all looking at this and going, please not Magus' Castle. Please not Magus' Castle.
All right, there he goes. He bought the other part.
There we go. Yeah, I didn't think he had bought it. I just wasn't sure if he had checked it, was more my question.
So he got the ruby knife from Dinodoro.
Yes, I believe.
It's going to be really interesting to see how the other runners, if they decide to go to Dinodoro, or if they decide to continue following the other paths they've found.
Yeah, honestly, Magus' Castle without magic can be pretty rough. So, the techs in this game, the way it works, all characters can unlock their first 3 techs without visiting Specchio. And of course, Robo, Magus, and Ayla have access to all of their techs. They have to learn them, but they can learn all of their techs at the outset. The remaining 4 characters learn their first 3, visit Specchio, and then that will unlock their remaining techs, and they can start learning those. Kind of in vanilla, it was you could learn the first 2. Here you can get the first 3. So with only the first 3 techs available on over half of the characters, it can make Magus's Castle pretty tough if the tech randomizer doesn't like you.
It can. Moon went after reforging the blade. He went and checked the item at Tabin, and it happened to be a safe helm. So that was a really good decision by him to go check that.
That was a great decision. So Tabin, of course, aside from giving you a key item, can also give you 2 other high-tier items. One of those is from the reforging the Masamune, and the other from charging up the Moonstone into the Sunstone. And yeah, we have 2 bosses on screen currently. We've got Hecarim for Chokosora, and Procky is doing his Retinite fight. Oh, frog goes down. And the menu boss. That's right.
Yeah,
3 bosses
absolutely.
on screen.
All right, we see Moon turning the sword into Marley to get her character unlock.
So the question is, will he swap her in once he sees her techs, or is he just getting her in case he needs to go do the King's Trial?
That's a good question. You can see him eyeing the techs immediately. I think he was looking for perhaps a replacement for Frog. Ideally, it would have he would have found somebody that didn't require magic to be unlocked, which may have been what he was checking.
Probably. If she had ice too, I imagine he probably would have swapped her in just for the AoE potential.
Yeah, absolutely. Or if he would have pulled that Ayla, he may have swapped her in just to not need magic at all.
This is true. On top of just triple kick being so strong in the end game. So here, Moon is slicing open the side of a mountain, just casually. Poor murdered mountain. We will remember it.
Well, he's got to clear a path. Oh. It's not like they have a spaceship they can drive there.
This is true. You know, I never quite understood that.
Oh, we see Choco. Yeah, oh, Choco. Sorry. Yeah. And
I have to ask him sometime exactly how he pronounces that, just to make sure I'm doing it right.
Yeah, I feel like I definitely should have double-checked his.
And we got Procky pouring one out for Toma.
Oh, that's an interesting. I wonder what he might find there. Man,
you can clearly see all of the runners are just kind of putting off going to Magus's castle. I mean, Moon has been in go mode, and he's still just continuing to try other stuff for hopefully a faster route to the end, and maybe something to get him some magic first. Because, I mean, a gate key could really turn things around.
Yeah, definitely trying to grind up some tech points, too.
Yeah, he's actually recently taken a liking to this fight. You know, rando gonna rando, so a few times now he has gotten some good loot out of this fight. It's also not too bad experience.
Ooh, it's Lapises.
I haven't actually seen what they're dropping. Oh man, this fight continues to work for Moon.
Ooh, big.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. For some reason though, like, that fight has just been really kind to him recently.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's one thing that's so interesting in this randomizer is, of course, like you said, rando gonna rando. But there's certain chests that just always seem to pay off for some of us that, like, we will never avoid, even though we're losing time. Or it may not actually have that good of odds, but...
And I guarantee you, if I were playing the same seed right now, exact same seed as these runners, that fight would drop like wood swords or something for me.
Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting.
Yeah, we do see... I think Taco's right at this point. Moon's just looking for magic.
Absolutely. Well, and it looks like he's... I mean, I know he's fairly good at the skips in Desert. It looks like he's intentionally fighting everything here, too. So that's a good amount of tech points, a fair amount of gold, and some battles that aren't going to be too difficult to at least get his techs.
Yeah, and of course everything here is weak to ice, so Magus having ice is working well in his favor.
Absolutely.
In the meantime, I'm just watching Procky skip everything. This dungeon is one where if you know what you're doing, you can beat the whole thing with one fight. If you don't know what you're doing, there's a lot of encounters.
My favorite thing is, yes, you can do this whole dungeon with one fight, unless you go up one particular ladder that takes you back to the beginning of the dungeon, which is my favorite.
Oh, so you use the pro strats then, I see.
Absolutely. So I made that mistake my first time doing this dungeon, and now I know better.
Honestly, I think that's the mistake that everyone makes once. And then they all learn to avoid the tall ladder. Oh, looks like we got a black rock on Choco's side. So
he gets past the bird.
Yep, past the bird. That bird is a jerk. I am not good at getting past that bird.
There's a pretty consistent strat now that I've been seeing a lot of people use.
It's waiting for him to throw the rock, and then he goes back, and if you time it just right, you can get up. Yeah, I'm just bad. Yeah, we got 3 bosses on screen again. We've got Rust Tyranno on Procky's side. Choco is now going into his Masa and Mune separate fight, and Moon Blizzard is coming back for Retinite for real this time.
Well, let's be real here. We have 3 bosses on screen that are real bosses. Masa, Mune, and Retinite, because Rust Tyranno is not going to be doing anything.
Rust Tyranno, I always feel so bad for Rust Tyranno. Like, he's just such a pushover.
Well,
of course, you see Choco making great use of confused strats. If you can hit one of the Masa and Mune twins with a status ailment, it prevents their counterattacks. So, you know, good show on Choco's side, just completely nullifying their X-Strike counter.
Absolutely. Alright, we see Moon finishing off Retinite probably here.
Yeah, and Procky taking down Rust Tyranno. If I'm reading chat right, it looks... Oh, the Dreamstone.
Yeah.
Interesting find. It looks like they're going to be buffing Rust Tyranno.
Oh.
Oh, thankfully not. So does Rust Tyranno use the same script in this as he does in Vanilla, where he just counts down and then hits you with fire? I'm going to be honest, he never lives long enough for me to actually see what he does. I presume, but...
I think that's what he does. I always thought it was like part of the story of him. Like I always liked the idea that he is one of the Tyrannos from Tyranno Lair, and he's just been stuck in a cave since, and so he's got arthritis now, and it's just horrible. He's having a rough time.
Oh, so he's just old and feeble.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
You know, it would fit. It would fit. 65 million years stuck in a little cave.
Thomas
Pop led to the Dreamstone.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I just can't emphasize enough. Ignore the paradox, folks. It's totally fine. 2 robos on screen at the same time is perfectly normal. Yeah, so at this point, we know where the the Dreamstone is. We know where the Ruby Knife is. That is 2 of the 3 pieces that you need for Go mode through 65 million BC. So now there's a gate key hunt going on. Gate key, of course, giving you access to 65 million BC.
Not everybody, though. Moon is heading into Magus's castle. He just went through and it looked like he was comparing Frog to Marley, and now he's deciding to just go in with Frog.
Yeah, so Moon is our first one taking the plunge into Magus's castle. Let's see if this pays off for him, because honestly, if this is the way he has to go, if the seed is logically saying go through Magus's castle, none of the other checks are going to work out for you. Being the first in here could be a nice lead for him. And of course, Procky just not even caring about the chests in Denadoro at this point.
Yeah,
so
sometimes...
Denadoro Mountains... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, yeah, it definitely feels like there's certain times where your gear is good enough and that you're just going to be able to roll with what you have, and then you stop picking up every single chest.
Exactly. And Denadoro Mountains, if you're here real early, the gear could be very worthwhile. If you're here late, then honestly it's just not worth the time to go pick up the chests that are out of the way. Grab the ones that are right in your path and just keep going. I mean, again, rando gonna rando, one of them could have something really amazing, but it's not incredibly likely. So that is the Black Rock. The Black Rock is Magus, Luca, and... Who's the third character for Black Rock? That's Dark Eternal, I believe.
It's not...
Someone in chat can probably correct me on that.
I don't think
okay,
it's Chrono.
It is Marl. So I know the other one is Robo, the Blue Rock, that's Omega Flare. So I don't think we're going to be seeing Dark Eternal today. It doesn't look like the right party composition for it, but it's always a fun seed when you get the right rock and have the right party combination to do one of those triple techs. They hit pretty hard and they're just entertaining to watch. Great animations.
Oh, I love the music and the eerie silence of Magus's castle.
Honestly, the whole soundtrack to this game is amazing, but yeah, for sure. Choco is, of course, going the King's Trial route right now, so he's turning in that Prism Shard over in 600. He's going to go ahead to 1000 and do the trial sequence for the King. So this will lead to one item in the basement, and then of course later if they get the Moonstone and access to both prehistory and the future, they can power that into the Sunstone and get another key item from Melchior.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an interesting quest because it does potentially open you up to 2 key items, let alone, you know, a pretty good item drop if you do pursue the whole Moonstone quest as well.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And so, you know, we were talking about this the other day, and it just kind of seems if you get the characters and the items for this check, it's usually a decent idea to do it, especially if you can do both at once. So if you think about it, there's 2 checks here as part of this. You can get Melchior's Refinement and the item at the Rainbow Shell in the basement. And of course, the things that people hate to see are the Prism Shard and the Moonstone because they're fetch quests. Well, it can't be either of those because you already have those, which just kind of opens up the pool to even more possible key items. So this check will frequently pay off, even though it does take a while to do.
Yeah, and it's not a terribly difficult check either, and you get some chests and things, like a fair amount.
Yeah, the chests down here are pretty decent. So this could be interesting too. Like if he finds a gate key down here, so we know that the Dreamstone is available. If he grabs a gate key here, this could just put him in go mode.
Yeah, it could.
And we're actually going to be seeing the key item in the basement very shortly. And we got a slash fight going on Moonscreen.
I love Slash and Flea. I love all 3 of them, honestly. I've always thought they were funny characters and very anime villains.
You know, I never really thought about it much, but they do kind of have that anime villain vibe.
Especially
Of course,
Ozzy. Ooh, Valkyrie on Choco's screen.
Ooh, good find. And looks like a Gloom Cape as well. That's some solid Magus armor. But yeah, Slash, Flea, and Ozzy individually can be a little bit of a pain, but man, when you get them all together in Ozzy's fort, they can be pretty mean.
I've gotten pretty good at that fight lately.
That's brutal. Choco just found the Moonstone on
well,
the
at least
Rainbow Shell.
At least that'll still get him another quest. Or another check, rather.
Yeah, he can't do it yet, though. He still needs both prehistory and future access to make good on it.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, we're looking like Magus Castle is actually required for this one, based on what I'm seeing. I don't know that they have much left that we haven't seen.
No, I think we've seen all the checks.
Yeah, so Moon making that call earlier than the others to go to Magus's castle, I think, has set himself up for a decent lead.
Yeah, it was certainly a risk, though.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. So Magus's castle, of course, you have to go through Magus's castle to unlock 12,000. And from there, if you have the ruby knife, you can open the Ocean Palace. And Magus Castle is not a short dungeon. It can be made relatively quick by skipping everything, but even relatively quick, it's still not nearly as fast as some of the other options.
I was going to say, in our runs, it's got to be one of the longest non-go mode dungeons, right? Like, it's definitely not as long as Black Omen. But it's got to be longer than, like, Reptite.
It's definitely longer than Reptite. Black Omen is pretty long, but that's also... I mean, you're on your way to Lavos by that point.
Yeah.
Like, this Magus's Castle, of course, isn't even the endgame dungeon, it's just the path to the endgame dungeon. And we've got Yakra is it Yakra the 13th?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Yakra the 13th up on Choco's side.
And Flea up on Moon's.
Flea is an interesting encounter.
You can say that
Flea,
again.
Flea, of course, using status magic to confuse your characters, put your characters to sleep, make your characters attack each other. And if you have a particularly strong character, can actually do some pretty solid damage on your own party.
Oh, we see Procky heading into the castle. Looks like he's checking Prism Shard.
Oh no.
He is not gonna be happy.
Yeah, Procky, not like this. But I mean, I can understand though if this and he's one piece away from go mode through 65 million, so he just is hoping this is a gate key. He will be sorely disappointed.
Do you feel like that go mode is easier? Or do you feel like they're just trying to make sure they have magic unlocked if possible?
So, Ocean Palace tends to be the preferred go mode. So the one that many runners like to see is Gate Key to 65 million through Tyranno Lair with the Dreamstone, and then Ocean Palace with the Ruby Knife. Most of my seeds end up taking me through the Black Omen, so I'm actually more comfortable with Black Omen than I am with Ocean Palace, personally.
Well, I meant more said, so... Oh, go ahead.
I would say, that said, either way, if this is a gate key, then you end up with both magic access and a faster method of go mode. If this doesn't pay off, and we sadly know that it's not going to, he's just setting himself back from the inevitable. Uh-oh. Someone's getting the stare. Is Future getting the stare? Is this for the seed that you rolled, Future?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
So,
telling you, like the first seed that Future rolled for that race a couple of weeks ago was like 100% seed. It was such a brutal seed. And then of course he rolled the one for last week, and it was, I mean, one of the fastest go modes I have ever seen.
yeah.
I want to say they had go mode within the first 4 items.
Yeah, it was like 35
insanely
minutes.
fast. Yeah, and Flea going down for Moon on the upper right there. And now this seed. So Future, I'm going to say like the next seed you roll, is this going to be like a pattern? It's just a ridiculously brutal seed followed by the fastest go mode ever, like world record contender seeds, and you're just going to flop back and forth between the two.
Could be.
But will Choco validate the run and pet the cat? No, he will not.
I don't think anybody will be going to pet the cat.
If Corinth were here, he would pet the cat.
Well, that's true.
He's probably in chat, so he could confirm, but pretty sure he would.
All right, let's watch live. Let's watch live as Procky's heart breaks.
Oh man.
Oh, you could see it on the screen. Oh, and there goes Choco.
Sora going to Giant's Claw. Oh man, all this time though, I mean, Moon is just tearing through Magus's castle, just getting further and further ahead here. He made the gamble, and he went with it.
See, my biggest problem if I was in this race right now, if I'm Moon, I'm sitting there wondering who got it at the same time as me. Did they get it ahead of me? Did they make... Are there any choices I could have made better? Because you know he's got to be... Like, you have no idea where everyone else is.
Oh,
so
yeah,
that could play into it still.
Personally. Yeah, I've never raced personally, but I imagine that has to always be going through your head while you're doing it. Just, you know, or what did I skip that someone else may have done that gave them the advantage?
Exactly.
You know, I'm making this gamble. What did I miss making this gamble?
Safe helm for Moon. That's his second safe helm, if I remember correct.
And someone apparently picked up a green dream we're seeing in chat.
Green dream is a pretty useful item if things go badly. You want to talk about green dream for a second?
Sure. So green dream is an accessory. In vanilla, you get it for finishing the Fiona quest line, and Robo gives it to you at the end of that. So as an accessory, if you die in battle, once per battle, it will resurrect you. It does not resurrect you with full health, but it will bring you back. So if you're fighting an enemy or a boss that's really dangerous, it's just a nice item to kind of give you that extra assurance that you're not going to get one shot, or that it will pick you back up if you do. Yeah, it resurrects you at decent HP. It's not full HP, but it's way better than giving yourself, say, a revive with only 50 HP. Looks like Choco's farming the dodging boulders of sadness, who did not dodge well enough this time. Oh, Raster Cecil coming in with the bit of info I did not know. It is 10 times your magic stat is the health that you come back with.
I always loved the section of the game where you get that.
That is just a great story section. It just hits you right in the feels.
It does. All right, Moon heading back upstairs. Choco going through the Giant's Claw still, but finishing up on it. He's on the tail end. And we see Procky about to head into his slash and flea fights.
Oh, and apparently it was only 5 times magic stat in vanilla but it was buffed. So good to know. Of course, for I don't know if I've actually called him out yet. Raster Cecil is the dev for Chrono Trigger Jets of Time, so we all have him to thank for this race tonight.
Absolutely, and for many hours of fun.
So, I mean, if anyone watching is thinking to themselves, hey, this is really cool, I would love to get into this, I'd love to actually try this out, thank you, Future. Right there, please join our Discord, grab the randomizer from the GitHub link there. If you maybe just want to watch a little more of this and think, hey, you know, I think I want to see more of this, well, of course, all of our runners run this quite frequently, so feel free to drop them a follow. I'm sure they would be more than happy to answer any questions you've got. We have a great community, so
yeah, I can't
feel free to
say
stop on by and drop a follow.
I can't say enough good things about the community. Everything from answering questions to help people get started to tools and flowcharts that'll help you learn and start doing your runs. There's just all sorts of great stuff in the community right now.
For sure, great community, great people, and a great game. Yeah, that Angworld guy, you want to watch out for him.
Yeah, I heard he used to go by Angry Squirrel.
Yeah, I was moving, and the move coordinator person, for some reason, couldn't get the name. My email address at the time had that as part of it, and kept typing it as Squirrel, and I never got her emails. That made moving very, very complicated.
Man, they are all making a mad dash.
Chrono.
Now we can watch Chaco's heart sink a little bit.
Yeah,
the Dreamstone.
Poor Russ Tyranno just going down again. And got the Dreamstone. I think at this point he now realizes this is a Magus Castle seed. So, Moon doing the quad juggler fight.
Ooh, a silver stud drop.
Whew, man, that's a good drop. I mean, they're worth killing for those.
Yeah.
Even if you don't use them, they sell well.
Absolutely. Oh, Chaco's going to cut a mountain. And Procky not that far behind. I think he still has to fight Slash after Flea. Do you have a preference? Do you fight Slash or Flea first, typically? Because there's only a save point after you beat Slash.
Honestly, I don't go Magus's castle route often enough to really have a preference. I kind of just wing it each time I get in here.
Fair
Which is kind of
enough.
how I play most of this game, to be honest.
Oh, we got a double.
Moon is getting a piece of Tabin gear off of Ozzy every time, as well as a Lapis, it looks like.
I don't think there's going to be enough time for it to happen because the Ozzy fight is so quick, but it sure would be funny if they were each on a different member of the trio at the same time.
Oh, that would be great. And there you can see Flea just being annoying. You got one character poisoned, one character confused. Confuse, of course, or Chaos, I believe. Yeah, Chaos in this version.
Yep.
Making you attack your own party members, potentially, although also massively lowering your attack power. Poison doing a ticking damage on your character, as well as lowering your own damage output. So it's a pretty nasty status ailment. You usually want to get those off of your character quick.
Which one is your favorite one to get? Which one is the one that you go, oh goody?
So favorite as in the sarcastic, why did this happen to me? Or favorite
Yeah.
as in, honestly, if you're going to have a multi-party status ailment that hits you, the one that I hate the most is Stop. I mean, Stop can be almost a run killer if you get it on like an obstacle on Lavos and you don't have protection against it.
Yeah.
your whole party gets stopped, well, you're done.
I hate chaos in this version, confuse in the future versions. It's so annoying, and if it happens to one of your strong members, even though they get nerfed on their damage for it, it still can hit some of your squishies really hard.
And you just know if you get chaos, that's the time when Luca is going to absolutely murder you with her Wonder Shot. Like, she'll hit, every enemy she hits will be for like 10 damage, and then she's gonna murder you for 1,000 with her Wonder Shot when she's confused. It's just the way the world works.
Absolutely.
Lost Worlds race next weekend. Oh, that'll be fun.
That would be awesome.
I don't know that one of those has ever been showcased outside of, an individual runner's channel.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be really interesting. Lost Worlds, you want to talk about Lost Worlds? What's different about it?
Sure. So Lost Worlds is an alternate game mode that features and highlights the other time periods more. So you start off again with 2 characters at level 15 in the future. You have access to the future, you have access to prehistory, and you have access to the Dark Ages, so 12,000 BC. You do not have access to 600 or 1000. There are a total of 5 checks that you can do, so it's a little bit faster of a mode, but it's a little more difficult as well because you typically are at lower levels. You don't have as many checks to do to grind up items. Sorry, did I... 5 key item checks.
Yeah, and so they're
there
guaranteed
loot item checks.
Yeah, and the key items are guaranteed to be the same 5. And you need most of them. So it's a really interesting route. I think
there are also only 4 characters available, as is being pointed out in chat. So you start off with 2, you have Protodome and Dactyl Nest, and that's it. So the other characters, you just don't get a chance to get them.
Oh no. Magus is Ayla.
It was Ayla all along. So I've never actually seen an Ayla Magus. I don't know what her
I think she uses
is.
Grandstone.
Does she use Grandstone?
For some reason, I have it in my head she uses Grandstone, but I could be wrong. Oh, energy release.
Okay, that would be the other guess. Energy release. Interesting. So Choco fighting Slash on his side. Procky, I guess, ran out to save.
Mm-hmm. I think the only other thing I was going to say about Lost Worlds is faster is such a strong word. I'm pretty sure my PB for Lost Worlds is like exactly the same as my PB for regular.
So Procky plays a fair bit of Lost Worlds, or he did for a while, and I know that his PB on Lost Worlds is something like 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So Procky is incredibly fast and very good at Lost Worlds. I am not that quick.
I am not either. 110. He's told me he thinks he will sometime get a sub 1.
Oh, did he actually lower it to 110? I know for a while it was 120, but man, that's fast. So it looks like Procky has actually just taken some of these fights. I guess he's grinding up some more tech points, more experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that really is the thing with Lost Worlds. So it's the same paths to Go mode. You can get the Dreamstone and the Ruby Knife, and that will lead you through Ocean Palace, or you can get the Clone and the Chrono Trigger, and that will lead you through Death Peak and Black Omen. But there are fewer checks, so you can potentially go faster.
You also have to defeat Tyranno Lair to be able to get to the Ocean Palace. So that's the main reason you have to get Dreamstone, is you have to complete that dungeon. It's a fun mode, but it is very difficult. I played a few runs of it while I was writing my guide for it. just to kind of get a feel.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And of course, if anybody does want to try out those guides, they are pinned in the Jets Discord. Speaking of which, hey Future, you got that command handy again? Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
So yeah, if you want to stop in, maybe give this a try yourself, there is both the download link for the randomizer program itself, as well as the Discord link. Oh, and Chokosora getting the counterattack kill. Nice. That spares him from getting MP bustered, which is always annoying to start this fight with one character at 0 MP.
Oh, absolutely. I almost just...
3 balls on screen. We have Flea on one, Slash on one, and...
their master, Ayla.
That's right. That's just a great addition to the randomizer. I think it kind of spices up Magus's castle a little bit, just makes it a little more interesting. You never know who it's going to be.
Yeah, I really like that change.
Yeah, their ultimate abilities are also changed to correspond with the character that shows up. So just a lot of fun. The first time I saw this, I just kind of paused the game and thought, okay, did something go wrong? Is something wrong with me? Is this what I'm actually seeing? I think it was Marl when I first got through Magus's castle.
Yeah, I got real confused because as mine silhouetted the first time, it looked like somebody with a wizard wand from Harry Potter, and it was it was Luca, and she just has like a conductor's stick in her hand. I don't know, it's very strange.
Slash down for Procky. So yeah, a friend of mine recently started playing this as well, and for his first seed, he sent me a screenshot that was him standing there, and I think it was Marl for him as well. And the caption on the picture was, excuse me, what?
Yeah.
Leads to some great conversations.
That's great.
He does not. I would name and shame, but he does not.
Wall ring drop for Procky.
He did not get the counter kill, so he got MP bustered. This is also going to show you just how long this dungeon can be, though, that all three players are in it right now, and Moon got such a head start. And yeah, Moon has hit half HP, so Magus, or Ayla in this case, is now vulnerable. And if he doesn't kill fast enough, then we're going to get to see what that ultimate attack is. And energy release, I imagine, can be quite painful.
Absolutely. And he
What
had
boss
to
of
have
the
been...
vanilla that uses that?
Ooh, that's going to be... I would say that's going to be an Angerel question.
That normally would be. I can't remember. I just did a vanilla playthrough a few days ago as well, so
It's
I
not
should know
Nisbal.
this.
Oh, is it Lavos?
It could be.
It's
It's
not a
entirely
common
possible.
one, then.
No, it's really not. I think I got
Oh.
hit with it once in my vanilla playthrough.
There it goes.
Yep.
Ooh,
There it
hitting
goes.
for a good amount of damage, but they survived. Moon survived it.
Oh, it's Mother Brain's desperation attack. Okay.
Oh. That was
Yeah,
actually
and he-
fairly close on Moon's screen.
Yeah, he survived it, but man, he took some damage.
Yeah, he did. She probably won't get it off again.
He's hoping. Definitely hoping. So is Procky grinding out more of these fights, or did he die? I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. It is much harder to keep track of all three. Oh, there goes Ayla down.
It is. Yeah, Ayla's down, so Moon has just opened his path to the Dark Ages.
Oh, it looks like
Magus learns dark matter.
It looks like Procky is grinding out those battles.
Okay. Yeah, that's... Procky normally likes to grind on the Evil Weevil fight in prehistory, if that's available. Since it's not, it looks like he's opting for this hallway. I've always loved these skips. Chocosaurus doing the skips on the stairway in Magus Castle. Again, that's another one, as a kid, I never knew about.
Oh, and it's so nice. It's life-changing. You're absolutely right. I call that the Donkey Kong area of Magus's castle.
You know, that fits. And of course, you always want to go down here at least once, just because there are 4 treasure chests down here, and I think there's a tab as well. Is it a magic tab? It's either a magic tab or a speed tab. I think it's a magic tab, though.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And now we get to see the new shop. So if you're ever running this and you think to yourself, I don't have status protection gear, and I really want status protection for some of the end fights.
Which you should.
You're in luck. You should. The new here is actually 2 shops in the randomizer. If you approach him from the north,
oh wow,
he sells guaranteed amulets and apparently in this seed elixirs and mega elixirs.
What a great new store. And Terra Arm, Mega Elixirs.
That's an amazing shop. So Moon is just going to sell everything. Like, just start selling stuff, because he wants what that new is selling.
Absolutely, and he should.
As he should. So this is frequently one of those areas where you will have been accumulating all of this gear, all of this loot for the entire seed. And there's this shop here, and there's another shop in the Black Omen, which is another new. And that shop also has guaranteed amulets, so you'll frequently see runners just dumping any excess inventory to scrape up some cash to buy amulets and just typically better items than a lot of other shops.
So there goes Procky into Flea.
Procky taking on Flea. Oh, and it looks like Choco missed this skip. But that one can be a little complicated. You have to kind of get the guy to walk out around your party, and then you can pass him. I'm not super good at that one.
I've gotten a lot better at them.
Do you think Moon... if Procky did wipe then. Okay. That's a shame.
Okay.
So do we think that Moon is going to go straight to Ocean Palace at this point, or do we think he's going to try and grind out some?
I think he will go
levels.
I think he'll go straight.
I would tend to agree. I think he's probably just going for it, going to head to Ocean Palace and try and end this.
I think
if you ever find yourself though. Oops, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say I think he's going to have that candle burning behind him, telling him that somebody else is right behind him, and if he goes for woe, like, yeah, he may pull good gear and get lots of XP and tech points, but I think he's going to be too worried that somebody else is right on his tail.
I think you're right. It's that racing mindset. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you ever play in a seed and you find yourself here in this kind of position and you're just like, well, my gear is terrible, I really need some more levels, Mount Woe is actually a great place to go. The chests there are pretty high tier. The enemies can drop some pretty good stuff, and frankly, it's great experience and tech points. And yeah, he's going for it. Looks like he's making the mountain climb up to the palace.
Absolutely. Yeah, and like Future said in chat, just because Moon enters the final dungeon first does not mean he wins. There's some tough fights in there. Magus, or not Magus, Lavos can be a heck of a time. And also, the other two runners did a couple more checks.
Yeah, they did. So they're going to be coming in a little bit stronger. Might be able to get through this stuff a little bit faster.
Wherever Hero's Badge or Time Egg came from.
Future, you're fired.
Alright, what's the command to ban somebody?
Sadly, he's got a sword, so Future is armed. I don't think he can be banned, unless we appeal to Game Boy. So, one thing you'll notice here as Moon Blizzard goes through this door, in vanilla game you need to raise the pendant to it. In this, you see the ruby knife actually gets held up and opens the door. That is one of the randomizer changes, and that is why you need the ruby knife to get through here.
It's interesting.
The pendant...
Yep.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's interesting that it actually switched the animation to the ruby knife as well. Because, like, when you get the Masamune, it doesn't turn into whatever you actually pull. Must be coded different.
Oh man, Future's on point today. The puns are indeed inevitable. There's nothing left to track. So this fight, we have the Golem fight going on Moon Blizzard's screen. This fight, for a lot of people, can just either be an absolute brick wall or an absolute breeze when you're first going through this game. He will mimic any element that you choose to use against him. So you see ice going down now, or possibly a few seconds ago. I'm watching on a little bit of a delay. So now he'll start using ice. If you have elemental absorb gear, you can sort of abuse that mechanic and make sure that you end with an attack of that element, and then every attack he does on you just heals you. If you're not careful and leave him on physical too long, he does have some pretty devastating physical attacks.
Absolutely.
We got Ozzy on Choco's screen.
I love the
So
Ozzy
he's
fights.
enjoying, oh yeah. Yeah, Ozzy is some nice comic relief.
Yeah, he's the one that really makes me think of an anime villain. Like, I could almost give him a voice for you. Like, it's I just really enjoy his character.
Yeah, I mean, you don't get to see too much of him. He shows up a few times, but not too often, which I think is just right. I think if they overplayed him and overused him, then it just wouldn't be quite the same.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
So, Procky going down to the basement. Gonna take out some skeletons, get himself some chests.
We can watch and figure out what they pulled down there.
You know, I've seen this twice already, and I just haven't watched. I really should. I should pay more attention.
It's hard to keep track of all three. Yeah, Moon is really fighting this golem, but I don't think it's got much left. Oh.
Oh,
that was
there it
good
goes.
timing.
Blurp. An Aeon suit, sight cap. Tonic and Lapis, so nothing terribly good down in the basement. I missed what the golem dropped. Gold
So
earring.
now...
Ooh, gold earring is a great find.
That is a
especially
great find.
when you're pushing hard early and don't have a whole lot of health. And again, this also, as Raster Cecil is noting in chat, gives you a lot of extra health to use Frog Squash. Oh, and it's going on Marl. So Marl, of course, being just a more generally squishy character than the others, she doesn't have quite the same health pool or defense naturally, so she's not a bad choice for it. You know, if you're not going for frog squash strats.
Choco and Procky
And
not
now,
that far from each other.
yeah, they're surprisingly close. So at this point, we still have 2 runners in Magus Castle. One, of course, fighting Ayla, and Moon Blizzard making his way through the Ocean Palace. I don't think we're going to get to see the route through the future today. Sorry, folks. So he's just going to be making his way quickly through here, skipping fights where he can. Yeah, good thing too. Honestly, if they were to take the future route, this would take a while. Just because they still don't even have access to the future, and they don't have the clone yet. Oh no, Procky, he gets into the fight with the rolling thing down the stairs. And yeah, thank you for the sub. I think I just got an emote off of that, so I appreciate it. And explosions going off on Procky's screen. So this staircase here that Moon is entering is one of the favored grind spots in the game. These enemies, the mages and the thrashers, give quite a bit of experience and quite a few tech points.
Oh yeah, so, absolutely. There's so many good grinding areas in this game. And this one that Moon's at right now is very efficient.
It is. You just run up and down the stairs real quick, get into this fight over and over again. And if you're lucky, they can also drop some good stuff. So I've seen, Lapis dropped out of here, or Hyper Ethers get dropped out of here. So it's a good spot. It's also, if you're going to grind in the late game, a lot of people will grind to whatever level they feel comfortable at here, 28, 29, 30, before heading on. Many runners will end this, the final fight, typically in the low 30s. A lot of my runs end at 33, 34. Some of the better runners, not something I accuse myself of being, will end their runs more at like 30, 31, 32.
Yeah.
I've seen as low as a 28 or 29, but that starts to get really dicey.
Absolutely. Yeah, I usually shoot for a little above 30. And even then, I'm going to turn the battle speed down.
That is also a good trick, just to kind of give yourself more time to react. Future, you don't give yourself enough credit, man. I think your PB is better than mine. I think we're getting some static. At least I was.
Oh, I'm sorry. How's it now? I can reset this.
For now, it's gone. Yeah, Cthulhu trying to use shock on his microphone.
Yeah, sorry.
Static is back again. Not sure what's happening.
Alright, I'm trying to make sure I don't have anything near my cable.
Alright, I think we're back. So yeah, you see Moon is over here just grinding out a few levels. He got through Magus Castle pretty early, whereas these other runners did more checks. So he definitely wants to get a little more experience here. He's getting pretty close. He's at 29, it looked like, on his menu a second ago, and I don't imagine he'll be here much longer. Might just do another fight or two and then head on out. Dark Matter, of course, just making quick work of everything here. Such a strong ability. We're back to static.
Oh, I didn't change anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's just me or if it's also coming through for the, the viewers at home. As best I can tell, stream quality is still good. All the screens are up.
Okay, I reseated my cable.
Alright, well, static has stopped. I'll yell at you again if it comes back.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and as Future is reminding us in chat. So if you really enjoy this, the VODs for this will be, of course, available here through Twitch, and after some time period, I want to say it's minimum 24 hours, they will get transferred over to YouTube as well. If you're really liking what you're seeing and you want to see more of it, please drop these runners a follow. They are all fantastic runners, good people in general. I'm sure they'd love to have people stop by, ask them questions.
Absolutely.
Yeah, really great community, great people. If for some reason it's the kind of thing you're into, you could also follow us. I stream very infrequently, so make of that what you will. The other two, though, Future and Cthulhu, are actually entertaining, so follow them.
That's a bold claim.
Yeah, I like making bold claims occasionally. Ooh, Choco. Choco has beaten Ayla. He is now in 12,000. He's going to go check out this shop.
So to follow up on what you said, I definitely stream more often and for longer periods per run. I am not that fast.
It happens. It happens to the worst of us.
Especially lately, because I've been just playing a meme category, and it's very bad luck on those seeds lately. But no, I love watching
like
anyone.
Grinding. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, that's all I was saying.
Oh, yeah. So Moon has finished his grind. It looks like he's continuing on his way down the stairs. He will be, working his way through to the end of Ocean Palace here. And Choco is he doing Mount Woe? It looks like he's doing Mount Woe.
Oh.
Because honestly,
Maybe.
I thought at first he might just be stopping to heal, but then again, there's the healing
He is
pads
going to do
in,
Woe.
Yeah, he's doing Mount Woe. And of course we have Procky, now himself fighting Ayla Magus. This is an interesting choice. So Mount Woe, of course, is fantastic tech points, fantastic experience, and you can get some great gear. Never underestimate Mount Woe for that. Though, he does have Go mode at this point, so maybe he just doesn't feel comfortable with his levels at this point, or with his gear, to go straight to Ocean Palace.
I could see this call if you didn't feel comfortable with your gear, and you needed levels, but it is going to eat some time, and you've got to wonder where he thinks he's at time-wise compared to the other runners.
Oh man, Insult 2 coming in with the puns. Someone get this guy a commentator mic. I feel a usurper is coming for my spot. Oh, so Moon is going for Frog Squash strats. He's going ahead, standing here for a bit, and letting the statue take Frog's health down. And so in the coming elevator fights, he's just gonna Frog Squash everything. So anyone who's played this in vanilla will remember the Scouters and whatever the other two enemies' names are, the fire and ice variants of the Scouter. They are only vulnerable to their particular element and will counterattack any other element, though they can be killed with physical attacks. So you'll see a lot of people in this spot will do either Dino Tail or Frog Squash and just wipe the whole screen at once.
It sure is convenient, and it makes it a lot faster. You've also got to make sure you keep your magic up, because both of those techs are fairly expensive.
They are definitely expensive. So we're definitely not going to see it here. In vanilla, I know I used Falcon Hit for that particular set of fights. It's incredibly powerful as well. But again, we don't have quite the characters for it in the randomizer. Or in this seed, sorry. They are in the randomizer.
Oh, there you go, swapping the frog in.
Yep, here comes Frog. Brocky's still working through his Ayla Magus fight on the side. This fight can be a little bit long, so the Magus fight, the health is slightly randomized, so it could be if Magus rolled, or Ayla in this case, rolled high health, this could take a little bit longer.
And we'll
looks
see.
like he's making his way through the fight pretty well. Sorry, go ahead, Cthulhu.
I was going to say, Choco going up Mountain of Woe still, starting to run from some of those battles, just grabbing the chests and heading up. I'm really curious what he's looking for. This is definitely
honestly,
something
at this point, it would
that I want to ask
be
him about.
Access to one of the other time periods. It would have to be either a gate key or a pendant, I would imagine, because they're out of checks.
Just jotting down some notes for later.
Questions you want to ask the runners?
Yep.
That's fair. Also, chat, be thinking about that. If we can get these runners in for interviews at the end, and you have any questions you want asked, we may be able to accommodate that.
Ooh, a swallow coming out for Choco, but I don't know that that's going to make him switch at this point.
Yeah, probably not this late.
Yeah, that'd be awful late. Though he does have Confuse.
He does. Swallow is a good sword. It gives that +3 speed as well as pretty solid attack. So always good to see when you've got Chrono. And here we're just seeing the power of Frog Squash strats. Words are hard.
Especially those words.
This particular fight is nasty. Yeah, thank you, Future. Oh, actually, it wasn't Future who did it this time. Thank you, 1000 Fruit for Nana. So if you guys are interested in what you're seeing here, if you like Jets of Time and maybe want to give it a try yourself, go ahead, take a look at the link there. There's a download link for both the randomizer program as well as a link for our Discord.
That was a beautiful skip from Moon. And going for it again, he nails it again. Got both the scouter skips.
Tricky. Yeah, so Future, I will thank you for other people's work anytime you want. So yes, this is essentially the Chrono Trigger equivalent of either Free Enterprise or Worlds Collide. It's an open world randomizer. You start with 2 characters and the
Moon armor for Moon.
Moon has moon armor. I approve of that. And you basically travel around doing various checks for key items that will unlock additional checks and time periods and allow you eventually to get through one of the ending paths to either fight Lavos or Zeal 2 for the finish. So, who was it that had the elixir? I'm seeing in chat that one of the enemies was dropping elixirs. And we have Giga Gaia up on Choco's side.
Yep. I think it was on Moon. The scouters were dropping those, so he could have gotten
a
couple.
Fight.
But he had 4 elixirs, so I think he figured he wouldn't need more than that.
Yeah, I mean, if he's comfortable with his current items. And of course, yeah, I mean, we're actually going to make Future Force do work here. He has had nothing to track in, I don't know, 45 minutes now?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we gotta give Future something to do.
So if you liked the Golem fight from earlier, I got good news for you.
Is it a sequel?
It is a sequel. It is indeed a sequel. This fight is exactly the same as the first Golem fight, except now there are 2.
Yeah, it's twice as good now.
Yeah, so Choco, if I'm not mistaken, it has to be either Pendant or Gate Key at this point.
Yeah, it could be either, but it has to be one.
Yeah, I don't know that any other checks would lead to progression.
Well, it could be heroes. No, we already got heroes medal. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, so then the question becomes, will he actually go for one of those other checks?
That's a good question.
So Magus Castle is actually a relatively uncommon go mode, I've found.
My
So it
my
might
guess
just be that he's not even thinking about it.
my guess is he was just doing it for XP, but if he gets pendant, maybe he'll go loot. But it depends again where he thinks he is on the race.
This is true. So Pendant in this game allows you access to the future. You
Ooh,
go,
it is
you
Pendant.
do the Dragon Tank sequence, you get thrown in jail. You head to the future. Oh, there's Pendant. Yeah, Pendant takes some time, so you have to go through the Guardia dungeons and fight Dragon Tank. That unlocks the future. And now, if you have the early Pendant flag on, it will also give you access to sealed chests. Then again, he's already got access to sealed chests if he just goes to the Mammon Machine. And it looks like, yeah, he's just heading straight up. I don't think he's going to actually use that pendant for anything.
Yeah. So double golems are one of the last spikes outside of lava. So you once we get past double golems here, then we'll start the Lavos rush. All three forms of Lavos. Oh yeah, we do have 3 golems on screen. This is the 3rd movie, and the best movie.
I mean, this is just when you air both the original and the sequel at the same time to see which one is better.
Yeah, is that a common strategy?
So, it could be. I don't believe that the Lavos in Ocean Palace in the randomizer is actually any harder than fighting Lavos one of the other ways. Like through the bucket, for instance. Though I think you actually have to die to Lavos here in order to unlock the bucket.
You do.
Otherwise, if the bucket was unlocked permanently, then you would just go grind out some levels, head to the end of time, and hop in the bucket.
So the reason I think he'll go for the kill on the shell is if he does wipe to it and then have to go through the bucket, it's a long cutscene. It's a long cutscene that plays, and you don't get a save point after it. So if you do wipe to Lavos, then you have to redo that whole cutscene.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'm just a little bit behind. Okay, 1 golem down. I was going to say, I might just be lagging a little bit. So now we only do have 2 golems on screen. One of them is a phantom golem. But yeah, Choco is going to be heading to his golem fight, so we may have yet another golem on screen.
Oh, the Swallow did pull Chrono out of retirement. Perhaps.
Ooh. Interesting.
On Choco's screen, at
Chrono's
least.
starting with Confuse. Sorry, what's that?
Oh, nothing. Go ahead.
I say Chrono having Confuse is just really nice here, and the Swallow, of course, is one of his better weapons. Not the best, but definitely a solid weapon for Chrono.
Second to best, right? Is it just the rainbow that's better?
Depends if you value attack power or speed. So the Shiva Edge would be his second best in terms of attack power, plus it gives you the 4x to crit.
Oh, there goes double golem.
Gives you the +3 speed. Yeah, twin golems are down.
It's a very
good work,
race.
Moon. He's moving.
I don't think any of them have made bad time. I mean, we're just coming up on an hour 45, and everybody is within the final dungeon.
For a Magus Castle seed, they're all moving quickly. They're moving fast. So, trying to think how much is left.
It really depends. I mean, so many of these runs can come down to this last fight. It really depends. I know they all the runners today have different skill sets in different spots, I think. I know Moon has a lot of practice with a variety of teams, and I wonder if he'll be able to play safe and get through it first try. But if he doesn't, it's really anybody's race.
Yeah, so if anyone was here for last week's race, you got to see uh, just what we're talking about with Lavos can be tough. So last week it was so fast. Our runners got here in almost record pace, and it was just a brutal fight. I think they both wiped to Lavos 3 times. Just because when Lavos wants you dead, sometimes he'll just snipe you down and there's not much you can do about it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Oh, so Cthulhu, I'm hearing that the runners wiped because you cursed them. How could you?
Well, I did curse them a little bit.
Just a little bit?
I merely brought up that they were all or both potentially on world record pace, and that if Lavos went well, then it would be a new world record.
Oh, yeah, so, I mean, hearing that now, that totally your fault.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I got called out on it immediately. Somebody, I think Game Boy, put in chat and was like, way to jinx the runners, now Lavos is going to wipe 3 times.
And it happened. So, where is Choco going? It looks like he... Did he charge the pendant? Is he going for, sealed chests?
Maybe he just needed medicine. Maybe he wasn't feeling good about his medicine stock. Oh, was it you, Future?
Melchior... Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, Melchior is guaranteed to sell shelters and revives, so yeah, if he felt low on consumable items, then for sure it's a good place to stop.
Moon's guys taking a short nap.
Look, man, they've worked hard. They've been
have
running
worked
fast.
Hard. Well.
And Lavos, of course, rudely awakening one and letting the other take a dirt nap.
Oh, that was a good green dream, and that healed her for a lot. That was a 520 health heal off green dream on Marley.
So she has a lot of magic.
Yeah, she does.
So that is definitely a nice change, that it heals so much based on magic stat.
Absolutely.
And she's a good candidate for it with a high magic stat naturally. So it looks like we have, is Procky grinding this fight here? No, he actually continued on down the stairs. Interesting.
And Choco is heading up now, I believe. He went and restocked on items, it looked like. And now he's heading into Ocean Palace, perhaps.
Yeah, did he beat the golem? I wasn't watching his screen when the fight ended, or if he wiped, so... I think he finished the fight, so if he did, then he's gonna, take the portal straight down into Ocean Palace.
Yeah. I think he did. But there was a lot going on both the other screens. Hey, we're gonna see Frog Strats again on Procky, it looks like.
Awesome. It's always a good day when you get to see Frog Squash.
Absolutely.
And of course, Moon's still over here, working on the Lavos shell.
Probably not for too much longer.
Yeah, with how long the fight's gone on so far, it's probably getting near done, though there's a lot of damage going out.
Absolutely. It could be over for either reason.
So yeah, Future, I am actually curious as to where the other go mode options are, since it looks like all 3 of our runners are going through Ocean Palace. Future Force, of course, is the one who rolled the seed, so he has the spoiler log. He holds all the power here. Alright, Clone was in Genodome, so going through the future would have required the pendant on Mount Woe. So forced Magus Castle through Mount Woe to get the pendant, to the future, run Genodome, kill Mother Brain to get the clone. And that would have led to go mode through the Black Omen.
Oh, that would have been rough.
Mean.
Man, this fight on Moon's screen. This fight for Moon, this guy's really giving him some trouble. This can be a really tough fight. Oh yeah. Oh, there it goes.
Man, Future, you rolled an amazing seed, and there's more frog squash.
I did a Medina Redeemed run on Friday, and I legitimately had to 100%. I had to get all the key items to get everything I needed for it.
Youch. And it wasn't even a seed that I rolled.
No. No, you always give me Lovecraft seeds, and they are always the worst.
Look, man, the universe knows. If you use, like, something Lovecraftian as your seed name, just be prepared for an awful seed.
Yeah, I've learned that.
It's the universe's way of saying, thank you.
Oh, I love that.
I just love watching Frog Squash strats. Like, Frog Squash is one of those moves that's so risky to use most of the time because it's not good unless Frog is at low HP. So this area is just great when you get to see it over and over again.
I always remember seeing the animation in the trailer, like the demo at the start of the game. And just when you see that in like a guide or in the demo for the game, you're just like, all right, how do I get that ability? Because that looks great.
Oh yeah, for sure. So Moon is now moving into the inner Lavos fight, while Procky and Choco continue to make their way through Ocean Palace. Uh-oh, we have a new prediction up.
Ooh, what's the new prediction?
Will Moon defeat the final battle on the first try? Ooh, that's a tough one. So this phase of Lavos is just mean. Those arms will throw out the arm boomerangs, and if you know, if you get unlucky, they'll just snipe you down. Now it looks like he is running either barriers or I guess safe helms. He's got dual safe helms on Magus and Robo, so those are
that could make a big difference
because that's all physical. Yeah, you can see that massive difference. It hit Marl for like 460 or something like that. It hit Robo for 150. It's pretty big difference. Oh wow, yeah, someone putting big points on Moon beating this the first time. Moon, you would better not let them down. I know you can't hear me, but you gotta win this one for whoever it was who just dropped like 21,000 points on you.
Was it that many?
It was something like that. It was a lot. He's up at 21,000 points for yes.
Well, all three of these guys are extraordinary runners. So I don't think anybody played bad. I think there were different decisions made, and if key items had been in different places, this would be a completely different race than it's turned out so far.
Oh yeah, there go the arms. So, fun fact, the right arm, I guess technically Lavos is left, but the one on the right side of the screen has 1,000 more hit points than the other arm. So you'll frequently see it go down second.
Oh, there's Procky heading into twin golems.
And we have twin golems up. So this inner Lavos fight will use obstacle as well. The arms have to be killed first, and then once they're down, he will use obstacle, remove his defense, and then you can start actually killing the main Lavos body.
Absolutely.
And
I'm
we're getting dark matter
surprised.
strats on the twin golems.
I'm surprised on Moon screen that we've got Marley in this fight, with her not having the best of techs available.
He might just be relying on haste. You know, haste Robo and Magus and just spam out dark matters and Uzi punches. Plus, I think she has life 2 as well.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, haste and life 2. So, I mean, you're missing Ice 2, but she's not really going to pair with anyone for that anyway, unless she was going for Robo Tackle, but...
That's true.
Yeah, she won't be dealing a whole lot of damage, but I think that support magic is really going to come in handy.
That's a valid point, because that could help, and if we get to Phase 3, we could absolutely see haste on Robo to take out that left bit as quickly as possible. Though it'll be really interesting to see if he goes left bit or center bit.
Yeah, so we'll talk a little more about the strats when he actually gets there, but there's a couple of different strategies frequently used for Lavos, and I'm curious to see which one he chooses with this team. So it looks like Choco's doing some last-minute grinding on the staircase fight. Again, these guys just give so much experience. They're a fantastic grind spot. And Procky's still working his way through the twin golems. Oh, looks like at least one is down. Oh yeah. Agus, at least, will live.
Oh, Frog. Scraping by.
Oh, close.
Alright, that's Phase 2 on Lavos. Another gold earring.
Yeah. Oh, did he get another gold earring? Let's hope he gets the menu glitch.
If he gets...
And,
so there's a menu glitch here that he can get right when the screen goes black that would allow him to heal up his party and re-equip however he decides to. So he may or may not choose to do that if he gets
we'll have to see.
The glitch.
Honestly, I think he's going to try and hit the menu glitch just to heal everyone up. I don't know if he'll be equipping that gold hit. Awesome. Yeah, he got the menu glitch. The big trick for that, if you're not familiar with it, you have to wait till the screen turns perfectly black, and then press and hold the menu button. It's a bit of a tight timing window, but if you practice it a bit, it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Once you get it once or twice, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just the first couple of times it just kind of seems like magic.
And he is going to take the time to move some equipment around.
Yeah, it looks like Choco is finished with his grind. He's working his way down the stairs now. I'd be curious to see if he is also going to go with Frog Squash strats, or if he's going to just kind of brute force his way through with physical attacks. And it looks like Procky is about to start his Lavos shell fight.
He is.
And this has been a pretty good race. Yes, there is one runner who I believe is off stream right now.
All right, Moon took his time making sure everything was equipped correctly and efficiently, and let's see how it pays off for him now. At the same time, we've got Procky heading into Phase 1, and we have Choco not terribly far away. He's going to be coming up on Twin Golems after the lift fight.
Yeah, everyone, I mean, Moon clearly ahead right now, unless Lavos Core decides to be a jerk. But, I mean, this still could be anyone's race.
Yeah, this is a wipe away.
It would not be the first time a runner has wiped to Lavos Core.
This is a wipe away from a very close race.
Oh, and we're being told that our off-stream runner is currently in 12,000 as well, working his way through the Kingdom of Zeal. Yeah, he is a much more recent runner, just started playing recently, so he's doing pretty good if he's in 12,000.
Yeah, absolutely. I should race him sometime.
I mean, there's always people up for races in the Discord. So again, if what you're seeing here really interests you and you think you might want to get involved, go ahead. There's a JOT command, a bot command that you can use in chat. That'll get you a Discord link. That'll get you the download link for the randomizer. Thank you, Future. Feel free to stop on in. We have a great community. People always willing to answer questions and help out. If you like what you're seeing and want to watch more of it, then feel free to drop a follow for our runners. They run a lot of Jets of Time, so you can usually find most evenings at least one of these runners, sometimes multiple of them, running Jets of Time. Please come on in, hang out, enjoy, and feel free to stop on in. Now,
Absolutely.
again, if you're into that kind of thing, we also occasionally stream, the stream team. So Future Force, Cthulhu Crisis, and sometimes myself. So, you know, if you want, drop a follow.
Ooh. Here it comes.
Yep.
Some heavy damage from Lavos. Grandstone is rough.
Honestly, with
Not
those
the
two
worst.
safe helms, plus it looks like he may have gotten a shield up, that wasn't bad. He was thinking ahead. So Grandstone is his strongest physical attack, deals huge physical damage, so if you have good armor or shields or safe helms, any of that kind of equipment that gives you the 1/3 physical damage reduction, those are really handy for it. Yeah, Lavos occasionally will get slappy, and he'll just
Procky
jump
is
at you and start
inside now.
slapping your people around. What's that?
Procky is inside the shell now.
Oh yeah, shell goes down for Procky. So
He
he's
is
on his way to Inner Lavos.
Lavos 2 coming right up.
And Choco just finishing up the elevator. So it looks like he opted to sort of brute force his way through a little bit more. This fight can be just a little rough.
Yeah, it's just a long elevator section without something that one-shots all the scouters.
Yeah, that's actually why you saw the other swap in Frog for Frog Squash strats, just to get through this section a little faster. But now that he's got the red scouters down, he can just cast a quick ice too. That fight's done. And Moon going to work on that right.
Yeah, he is. He's gotten rid of the left and center bet. He's just hitting as hard as he can right now. He's hitting for a good amount of damage.
Final push. Yeah, so the right bit in vanilla, I believe, is 30,000 health. In the randomizer, it has been nerfed a bit. It is 20,000 health.
Yep.
So I'm sure he's counting. I'm sure.
Oh yeah. I don't count most of the health values at this point in my runs, but this is one I definitely do.
Yeah, just to know if you can, do that final push, or if you need to play it safe.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm bad at making that call sometimes. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, I mean, Lavos can just be mean. He's got some very powerful attacks. Dreamless, Grandstone, just generally jumping over and slapping you. So defense is still down. Defense stays down for a little bit after you, after he does the revive. So you can see him just continuing there to spam shock and dark matter, getting more damage in on that right bit.
Absolutely. And it looks like he thinks he may have enough damage. It looks like he might be nervous about it, though.
He's going. Of course, Crocky's got the arms down. He's now working on Lavos, and Frog's taking a nap.
Absolutely. And double golems about to start on Choco's screen.
Yeah, we're all three of these runners are coming down to the end. And so, of course, with the stream setup, I don't have any sound, so I'm missing out on
there it goes.
Great music we've got.
There it goes.
That's a GG for Moon.
That's a GG on Moon.
Okay,
Very close, though.
Chat. Well done.
That was one wipe from being an insanely close race. And it was all based off a decision that he made in the middle of the run, and it just happened to pay off for him, because it very well could have been one of the key items he skipped, got him a faster route. But he took his chances and he went for it.
So, do we want to maybe get him in for an interview?
Yeah, absolutely.
Alright, so I haven't done this before. Does he come on in? Do we bring him in?
I think he'll come in. I'll send him a message. And I did jot down a question for him. Let me know, guys. Let me know now in chat. If you have questions for any of the runners that you'd like asked specifically, let me know and I'll add it.
Yeah, anything you guys want us to ask. Hey, Moon. Welcome and GG. Hey, Moon. Welcome and GG.
Oh. Got an echo coming through Moon's stream here. Let me change audio. Through Moon's stream here. Okay.
Hello.
Hey, Moon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Moon.
Oh my God.
So, GG. Good run.
Wow. What a seed.
Yeah, what do you think of that seed?
I mean, we had to make choices. Like, it was choices after choices. I mean, I got my go mode very, very early on. I don't know about the other runners, but I think it was like my third key item, and I had my go mode, and I was like, wow, I can't do Magus Castle. I don't have magic. I don't have levels. I don't have items. I have nothing. And I thought, well, what can we do? Grind? Trying to find some items. That's why I grinded for those lapses from the frogs. That's why I went to desert, because I would get like 4 levels there really quickly. And then my thought process was like, do I have time to do another check to find gate key or the pendant and do pendant and unlock magic? And I was like, no. Then I thought, well, let's see Marl, what she is bringing to the table. And then I saw Life 2 and Haste, and I was like, yes.
Yeah, she had most of her good techs right there at the start.
Yeah.
So I had 2 questions. Like, go ahead, Moon. Go ahead, Moon.
No, I was like, well, with Haste, I can haste Robo, and I can haste Magus. That's all I need, I think, for Lava 3. And then that dash ring drop was like incredible, because it would make this strategy work very well. And the fact that... What?
It's a good find, the dash ring.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know if I'm doing this right. I don't know if I'm going to beat Lavos. My lava shell was long. My Twin Golems was long. And I was like, wow, I must be like behind or something. And when I reached Lavos phase 3 and Lavos core, and I was like, okay, we grinded, we are at level 34, we have haste, we have life 2, we have dash ring, I think we can do this. And I was like, it was very tense, but...
Absolutely.
And that green dream saving for the...
Yes. I was gonna ask you about that. What made you decide to put that on her? Because that was a clutch heal for over 500.
Yeah. Well, I decided to put it on her because I mean, she only entered the party like late, and I knew she was on the level, and I thought, well, she might die. So I didn't want Mari to die because I wanted her to get the experience points so that she could level and like try to be at the same level as everyone. So that was my thought process. I mean, putting blue vests on Magus and Robo, and then she might die, but she had a green dream, so she would survive at least one attack.
Sure.
Yeah.
So last question I have for you. This was from chat. They were asking what made you choose the specific team that you've got. Like, what made you stick with those specific characters? If you didn't already explain that.
I mean, so we started with Robo and Frog, right? Or I actually don't remember. We started with a Robo Frog, right? So I went to the desert and I got a good weapon for Frog, which then I thought, wow, I think we are keeping Frog for the moment. And then we got to the point that we had to do Mega's Castle, and then I thought, well, Masamune will be handy, so let's keep Frog. I switched for switched Marley in just for flea fights. I think I could have done it with Frog. I'm not sure, but I wanted to try and see how she would with haste and all. I think that would solve my issues with flea because she had that very harsh attack that almost wiped my party 2 times. So and then I kept Robo. I mean I was thinking, where is Luca? Where is Ayla?
Sure.
Yeah, no, neither of the powerhouses showed up.
Yeah, they didn't, so we had to... I mean, I think swapping Mali in just because of the haste and life 2, I think was the best decision for me by the end. And swapping Frog for Frog Squash, I think was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, gonna interrupt just a sec. Procky just burning his Mega Elixir to try and recover from his inner Lavos core fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, race is awesome.
Yeah, this is a great race. So sorry, Moon, interrupt. Back to you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a fantastic race. The seed was, I mean, it seemed like to be a kinda fast go mode seed, but it's not easy at all.
Well, so
yes,
Future...
I like your seed, Future.
Yeah, Future's asking if you...
go through Magus's castle much earlier than the other runners. I think they were holding out hope for a gate key or a pendant. And we have the shell down on Choco's side. He is on his way into Inner Lavos now.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a really interesting choice.
Really?
Yeah, because I think you had 1 or 2 more checks that you could have done, and that the other players had already done. But you just decided to do you did a little bit of grinding on the frogs, and then you went right into it.
Wow. Pendant was at wall and gate key was at Ares Dome?
Yeah. This is like a seed I would roll.
I mean, that's why I thought...
Go ahead.
I'm only doing desert because that's really fast. I went there before. I got the chest because I can kill. I have ice 2. I am going to get a lot of levels, and that's the only check I'm going to do. And if we get the gate key, okay. If we don't, even if I got the pendant, I would not be going to. I don't know. Maybe I would, but I mean, this was a race, so.
Well, I don't want to keep you all night, Moon, but I did want to say, you had mentioned that desert loot strategy the other day to me, and it was really interesting to see it, because you did just get a whole bunch of loot right at the start of the run, and so that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it paid out. I think getting the frog weapon really early on.
So there's those boomerangs we were talking about as you watch Chrono get sniped down over on Choco's side. If Lavos just decides he doesn't like you that day, those arm boomerangs just Yeah, nothing you can do
Absolutely.
about it.
So it's very interesting that everyone has a different party.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Well, thanks so much for joining us and letting us pick your brain
Thank
on,
you very
some of the
much.
questions.
Thank you
man.
very much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, congrats
Yeah,
on your
appreciate it.
win.
Thanks. Yeah, good luck to Lava Fight for the Proki and Chokosura.
Absolutely. So hopefully we'll see you on here again, Moon.
Yeah, bye bye. Thanks again.
See you, Moon.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
So yeah, Procky, in the meantime, is working on the Lavos core still. He's got center bit down, and he's just working his way through that right bit. 20,000 health. Choco, one arm down. Poor Chrono still got sniped, and Robo healing for all he's worth.
Absolutely. And probably a little more.
And probably more.
Yeah.
So that is one of the nice things about having either Frog or Robo in the party at the end. If you do need that clutch heal to come out, they do have the full party heals. Frog's, of course, being a little bit stronger than Robo's, though Robo's damage being a little bit higher than Frog's. So it's a trade-off. I don't know where you have the audio right now, but of course Moon is getting to listen to some of the best ending music in the game.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've got the audio on Procky right now. So that we didn't have an echo.
I appreciate that. I think Chad appreciates that.
Oh, there it goes. There's Procky locked in on second place.
Yep, let's get GG's in chat for Procky. And again, if you guys are liking what you're seeing, feel free to follow the runners. Future just did the !R command. Choco Sora, Moon Blizzard, and Procky, all fantastic runners, good streamers. And feel free to drop them a follow if you like what you're seeing.
Absolutely. Can agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I think let's see if Procky's interested in coming in for a chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, Future Force working behind the scenes here, trying to help us line that up.
Absolutely. And I'm going to switch the audio over to Choco here while we talk to him.
Sounds good. Procky, welcome. GG. Good run.
Hey. Yeah, thanks. That was a terrible seed.
So,
Which
I was
part?
actually just about to ask, what do you think of Future Force's seed?
I'm just gonna say not much, and I'm gonna try to forget about it.
That's fair. So what did you think about that forced Magus Castle with no magic?
I was very disappointed, mainly because I actually did Thomas Pop pretty early, and Desert, and I think Moon probably saw what was happening and jumped on it. I thought maybe there'd be a way, but there was no way. It was a Magus Castle required seed.
It was. So yeah, Moon took that gamble. He jumped into Magus Castle a little bit earlier than you and Choco, which I think was really what ended up making the difference in the end there. But I mean, despite that, forced Magus Castle seed as the last check, and you still finished with a 216. That's fast.
Yeah. I'm not unhappy with it, I guess. The time, that is.
So, one of the questions... Oh, go ahead.
A funny thing about the seed was no magic, right?
None.
Yeah, that
I don't
makes
know that
a huge
consider
difference.
that funny. More painful. Maybe something I'd cry over. But yes, that was a thing.
So one thing we had asked for us to ask all the runners, Procky, is what made you go with the specific team you got? Because one thing you didn't get to see is that all three members went into Lavos with completely different teams.
Well, I'm not sure what teams they did, but since we didn't have magic, I stuck with Robo and Magus, because they don't need to learn magic, obviously. And then I was just kind of jumping between Chrono and Frog for a little while. Why I settled on frog, I'll never know.
Well, you're Frog's biggest
maybe
fan.
he's your
Frog
favorite.
squash on the elevator, but
I mean, everyone loves to see frog squash strats, so I certainly cannot fault you for that.
I think everyone loves to see Frog, just in general.
This is probably true.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it is true.
Well, that was a insanely
Any
good
final
race.
thoughts for us on
Yeah.
the seed?
No, I'm just gonna watch the VOD and see how everyone else did, and yeah, that was fun though. Even though it was Magus Castle Seed, we're gonna have those from time to time, so gotta learn your way
Rando
through
gonna
them.
rando.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for
Yeah,
coming
well-
in and chatting with us.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for a great race. I mean, all of you guys have been putting on a fantastic race for everyone this evening.
Yeah, thank you so much for running things, because wouldn't happen without restreamers, trackers, commentary. So
Yeah, especially Future
Anytime.
tonight.
let's keep it up. All right, good
All
night,
right,
guys.
so yeah, have a good night, man. Choco, of course, going through his Lavos core fight. He's got the left bit down and plugging away at the right bit.
All right.
Man, you know, this, for being as rough a seed as this was, this has been a pretty close race, all things considered.
Oh yeah, it really was. It
And like you said,
felt
at
like
one
it all
point,
came
the
down.
wipe-
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say,
say
it came down to that one decision where Moon went without checking the last couple checks, at least one, if not two checks, and it just got him that little bit of head start.
Yeah, that really is what made the big difference. And at any point, a wipe to Lavos could have just been an instant reset as to who was in the lead. And I mean, we all know that happens sometimes. Lavos can be mean.
Yeah, Lavos can be a run killer for sure. No matter how strong you feel, it could even just be you make one command wrong, and it gets you wiped. So, I'm really hoping we don't see any wipes to Lavos in this race. I'd feel pretty good about that. All three of
Oh,
these
yeah, that
runners
would be great.
should be proud of their times, though.
Yeah, no kidding.
The
Yeah,
last
looks like
seed,
he's just taking down that center bit right now. The center bit is the one that does all of the incredibly damaging attacks. You know, the ones we've been talking about: Dreamless, Grandstone, Slapping, Evil Star.
yeah,
So if you can take out the center bit, then those attacks just get nullified. Now you can't really do area attacks at that case, because once you do an area attack that hits both bits with the center gone, they'll counterattack. But it looks like he's mostly going with Confuse, Uzi Punch, and more single target oriented damage anyway. So center bit
Absolutely.
strats are a pretty solid choice here.
yeah, it leaves Magus looking a little weak, but given the seed and not having magic, he probably didn't have a great option for increased single target damage. You know, if you would have had an Ayla or somebody else that can deal really solid damage to one target, you could be a little more efficient in this fight. But
Yeah,
he's still doing a great job with the team he has.
he is. And Dark Bomb can be respectable, and especially when that center bit comes back, he's going to get a few turns of Dark Matter in before the end.
Oh yeah. And Dark Matter can
This
be
has gotta
super
getting
useful
close.
for when that center bit, like you said, when that center bit comes back, because then it's letting you do that damage to the center bit, and if the defense hasn't gone back up on the right bit, you're just getting two birds with one stone.
Oh yeah.
And here it comes.
Yeah, looks like the center bit's coming back, so time for some dark matters. Chrono is probably using a swallow still, would be my guess. I don't know if they got anything better than a swallow.
I don't think so. Not that I saw, anyway.
I have not memorized what all of his swords look like by the blade color. There are people that have. I'm not one of them. You see him chucking mid-ethers. Oh, did he get a Vedic blade? Okay, Raster Cecil coming to the rescue here.
Oh, there it goes.
Wow. All
Good
right,
finish.
GG's in chat for Choco.
For sure. We're going to try to get him on here as well. I'm going to switch us over.
Yeah, see if we can get him in for a quick interview. But yeah, once again, if you are liking what you're seeing here, please feel free to follow these runners. They run a fair bit of Jets of Time, so lots of good content. Oh, and Future Force beats me to it. But yeah, also feel free to hop onto the Discord, download the randomizer, and try it yourself. We're always glad to have new people stopping in, and it's a great community of people, always willing to answer questions. So, by all means, stop in, say hello.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we have a great community. There we go. That's what I was looking for.
Swapping out audio so we don't get the echo.
Yep. So, can you guys hear that? Let me know if you guys can hear that. Okay, good. And we're going to get Choco in here, if we can, for a second. Get a chance to ask him a couple questions.
For sure, and again, if anybody in chat has questions for our runner, feel free to ask them now, and we'll see if we can pass them on. Yeah, he has agreed to an interview, so we should have him in here momentarily.
Perfect. Oh, I love this end track.
It is good. Choco, welcome. GG, man. Good run.
Can you hear us?
Might be some technical issues. Yeah, I don't think we're getting Choco.
I'm here.
Oh, there he is.
There he is. Hey, welcome. So, first question, what do you think of the seed?
You know what? That was the very first time I ever had a seed like that, where first ascension to Mount Wolf for progression, and then no magic. So I'm like, all right, let's just see what happens.
Yeah,
Sure.
Future Force sure knows how to roll them.
I mean,
So-
I don't mind world required seeds, but the seeds where you don't get a gate key or access to factory. Well, I mean, I could have went to factory, but there was no point once I got the pendant. So I figured I might as well rely on Robo and Magus to carry me through the last part of the seed.
Sure. Absolutely. So I've actually got a couple questions for you. So how long have you been running, if you don't mind?
I want to say about 6 months or so.
Okay. That's awesome. And then one question I had for you about the run. So you happen to be the the one runner that did go through Mountain of Woe. What went into your decision to go Mountain of Woe?
At that point, I figured I had Ruby Knife. So in my mind, I cleared out everything in 600 and 1,000. So I might as well go to Mount Woe because Pendant was there. I know I had the Chrono trigger, but where was the clone? I'm curious.
The clone, I think, was in Genodome. And
Future said. So
yeah.
we didn't actually see the future. None of the runners actually went to the future. But I think Clone was in Genodome and Gate Key was in Arisdome.
Yeah.
Oh, so you needed the Pendant anyway.
Yeah. So you were the only one with the chance to go. The other thing... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. You said I was the only one that went to Mount Woe?
Yeah.
Correct. So it's actually the Ruby Knife that opens that door. You don't need the pendant to get to Ocean Palace.
Okay, wait a minute. So all this time, you don't need a charge pendant to open that door?
You don't.
Not...
That is actually one of the changes from vanilla. The Ruby Knife replaces the pendant as the requirement to open that door.
I could have sworn you needed both.
The only other...
Okay, that would explain why I came in last place then, because I had no idea.
Well, I figured you did it for...
but...
I figured you did it for XP and tech points myself. So I didn't think it was that strange of a call. It was like the other guys went into Ocean Palace and grinded there on the staircase.
Yeah.
But I didn't think your call was bad. One other question we had from the chat was they wanted us to ask each of you, because you all ended up using different teams for Lavos. What made you decide on the team you went with?
Basically, my skill set. I knew Frog wasn't going to be much help, so I knew I counted him out since mid game. So it came down to either Robo and Magus. Well, I knew I was going to use Robo and Magus once I got to Mount Woe. But then it came down to either Chrono or Marl. And I mean, Marl had haste, which probably would have helped me out, but she had life too as well. But I figured Chrono was faster. I didn't put any speed tabs on Marl this seed, so I figured I had to use Chrono and just have him toss out items and stuff, at least for Lavos 1.
It also helps that he rolled with Confuse early for some
damage.
Oh yeah, that definitely helped out. And the fact that I found a Swallow was pretty big for that +3 speed. That was my final choice for Chrono, because like I said, he was faster than Marl. Usually if I ever run Marl, I'm throwing speed tabs on her, but she didn't have any of her magic, any of her healing magic anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I figured having her for haste and life too, she's kind of squishy as it is, so yeah, I wasn't gonna bother with her after that.
Absolutely. Well, I thought it was a great race. Everything, I said it a couple times during the run, we were a wipe away from it being incredibly close for all three of you. I mean, there was only a 20-minute difference between you and first, and Moon had a really good run. So, and he also took a pretty big gamble. He went for, or he didn't do all the checks before he went through Magus's castle. He just made the call to go.
I see.
But that was a great showing.
Big difference there.
Yeah. That was a big gamble too.
It was, because if you guys would have found a pendant or a gate key, it could have changed how that worked out for him. So, but yeah, I definitely think I'm gonna try to catch some of your streams, and we've been letting everyone know in chat. So
I'm kind of salty because all this time I've been playing this game, and I'm thinking that Pendant and Ruby Knife opened that door, but
that's okay. My first Lost Worlds, I went all the way to that door, not realizing I had to kill Black Tyranno in Lost Worlds to open it until I got
Oh,
all the way
yeah.
there and it didn't open.
Oh yeah, I mean, Lost Worlds is a different beast though.
It is. It is. But thanks so much for joining us. I think we're going to be hosting Taco here in a second and getting off of here.
All right, you guys take care. I gotta jump off and head to sleep.
Absolutely. Thanks so
Okay,
much for playing.
Thank you.
All right, you guys take care.
Hey, you too. So again, we're going to be hosting
Alright,
Taco Hero here in just a minute, and so I assume Future's getting that all set up now. And so he is another great runner, and I think he's definitely one you will learn things from watching. So
Well, I'm ready
Yeah,
whenever
for sure.
you fine gentlemen are.
Well, I just one more shout out to everyone. Please, if you enjoy what you saw tonight, feel free to drop a follow on our runners. Great streams, great content. If you think maybe you want to get involved yourself in this, there is a link to the Discord. There is a link to download the randomizer yourself. Feel free to stop by. We love getting new people.
oh, I love it. I love seeing new faces. And again, check it out because a lot of people in the community have worked to make sure there's tools to help new guys get started. So there's all sorts of useful links and downloads in there.
Alright, so thank you very much for watching, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed the race, and we'll see you at the same time next week. Say bye, everyone. Or don't.
Yeah. Have a good night,
Oh,
everybody.
We
I
say
think we
bye.
were
Yeah,
both.
bye, everyone.
I was going to let Angarel go first, but have a good night, guys.
Take it easy.
And we are hosting, so you can drop the stream.
Okay.